Hi, Studio Recap here. Today, we're talking about a movie called School of Rock, a 2003 comedy, family, and musical film. Spoiler alert is on. Take care. The story follows a musician named Dewey Finn, a skilled guitarist and a former rock band member. His love for rock is so intense that he loses himself in every performance, though no one takes him seriously. In one performance, he jumps toward the audience, but instead of catching him, they all step back. Dewey's roommate, Ned Schneebly, is a former rock band member who left the music scene after getting serious with a girl named Patty. Ned, shy and introverted, has lent Dewey a lot of money but is too shy to ask Dewey to either pay the rent or move out. Eventually, under pressure from Patty, he does ask. Dewey promises that their performance in the band, the Benjamins, will be a hit, they'll win the battle of the bands, and he'll pay Ned back. The next day, Dewey shows up to rehearsal and meets a new guy named Spider. The members of the band, which Dewey had put together himself, voted him out because of his stage antics, saying they couldn't work with him anymore. Dewey returns home and tries to sell his guitar, but the offers are way too low. Meanwhile, he gets a phone call from Rosalie Mullins, the principal of Horace Green Elementary School. She's trying to reach Ned because an emergency has come up with one of their teachers, and they need Ned's help for a few weeks. After finding out the school pays $650 a week, Dewey decides not to pass the message to Ned but instead pretends to be him and goes to the school as Ned Schneebly. Dewey goes to the school and asks the principal to pay him in cash or write the check in his name, Dewey Finn. The principal insists on sorting it out at the end of his teaching stint, so Dewey officially starts as a substitute teacher at the best elementary school in the state. When introducing himself, he even struggles to spell his own name, and asks the students to call him Mr. S. On his first day, Mr. S surprises the students by giving them the entire day off, ignoring the schedule, telling them not to worry about grades, and even tearing down the performance progress chart on the wall. After school, Dewey posts flyers offering his services around town. At that moment, two people reading the flyer mock him and say his work is terrible. Dewey also offers to collaborate with Ned, who, though still deeply in love with music, declines because of Patty, telling Dewey to give up his dreams like he did. On the second day of teaching, Dewey still has no plans or proposals for the class. Gradually, the students start to complain, with one saying that they're not paying $15,000 a year just to rest, another saying they still need to learn something, and others happy with the free time. Dewey tells them he can teach them to chill out, explaining that no matter how hard they try, they'll still lose because the world is controlled by humans, people who aim to control and push others around, like the principal. Dewey sees rock and roll as the only way to be free from it. Just then, the principal comes in and tells him it's time for the students' music class. Dewey peeks into the music class and is amazed by the students' talents. Each student skillfully plays an instrument, which sparks an idea for him. He brings all his musical equipment from his car into the classroom for the students to use. Zach, a boy who is an excellent guitarist, has never played electric guitar because his dad didn't allow it. Dewey gives him the electric guitar and teaches him a few chords. He assigns the keyboard to Lawrence, a talented pianist, showing him some chords for the keyboard. Katie is given the bass guitar, and Freddie gets the drums. Dewey rehearses with each student, helping them synchronize with the group. He tells them about a project called the Rock Band, explaining it's a competition among schools across the United States with significant grades. The only rule is that the project has to be done secretly, out of sight of the principal. He promises the students that if they succeed in the project, they'll get an entrance to Harvard. At lunch, Lawrence approaches Dewey, saying he can't be in the band because no one likes or talks to him. Dewey realizes some kids lack self-confidence and reassures Lawrence that he's one of the coolest kids. Lawrence agrees to stay in the band. Dewey assigns roles to other students, choosing 2 girls as backup singers, 3 boys as the security team to keep the activity secret, and others for logistics. He doesn't initially have a role for 3 remaining students, so he appoints them as groupies, telling them their job is to admire the band. The next morning, Summer tells Dewey she researched the term groupie and learned that groupies often have romantic relations with band members, so she refuses the position, threatening to tell her mom if she isn't given a better role. Dewey then makes her the band manager. When Dewey learns that none of the kids know anything about rock, he plans the whole day to teach them the history of rock and related topics. At the students' request, he sings his song for them. At lunch, Dewey tries to get permission from the principal for a field trip but learns that substitute teachers aren't allowed to take students off campus. Every student fulfills their assigned role and practices for the big project. Dewey helps boost the kids' confidence and distributes CDs of various rock artists for inspiration, asking them to treat it like homework. Tamika, a student assigned to security, asks to be a singer instead, and Dewey, amazed by her talent, wholeheartedly agrees. The next day, Dewey sees Zach's father scolding him for practicing music too much and listening to rock, pushing him to only focus on his studies. When Dewey returns to class, he talks with the kids about the importance of standing up to bullies and not letting people control them. He encourages them to express their anger when necessary, emphasizing that rock and roll is a means of doing just that. His words begin to change Zach's perspective. Parent-teacher night is approaching, during which teachers are expected to discuss students' performance with strict parents. Dewey overhears some teachers talking about the principal, mentioning how she was once seen behaving in a carefree way while drunk at a bar. This gives Dewey an idea. Dewey secretly takes the students out of school to register for the Battle of the Bands. Several students stay behind to maintain cover, playing a recording of Dewey's voice in the classroom to avoid raising suspicion. Everyone at the event is shocked to see the kids as contestants, with some mocking them for their youth. When Freddie suddenly disappears, Dewey searches for him. This delay nearly causes them to miss their registration time, but Summer devises a plan. Dewey claims the kids are terminally ill and that performing in this competition is their dying wish, persuading the registration officials to let them in. The students choose School of Rock as the name for their band. When the principal hears loud music from their classroom, she visits and finds a guitar. Dewey quickly claims that his teaching method involves using music to make lessons engaging, though she disapproves, urging him to stick to the curriculum. He then invites her out for coffee, instead taking her to a bar, where he plays her favorite song, eventually convincing her to allow the field trip. One of the students, who is tasked with designing costumes, suggests that they wear their school uniforms for the performance. Meanwhile, Zach has written a song, and Dewey encourages him to perform it with the group. The day before the competition, Dewey tells the kids that winning or losing doesn't matter. What matters is that they get to rock out together. The next day, the principal, who has forgotten about the field trip, tells Dewey he cannot take the kids out of school. Additionally, she insists he must attend parent-teacher night and discuss the students' academic performance. Dewey heads home to prepare for parent-teacher night. Ned receives a check from the school, realizing something is off and planning to contact the school. Dewey confesses everything to him, but when Patty arrives, he begs Ned to keep it a secret. During parent-teacher night, parents question why their children have been so focused on music and why their assignments consist of rock CDs. While Dewey tries to keep his cover, police officers arrive at Patty's request. He confesses the truth and praises the kids as amazing musicians. Furious, the parents leave, and Dewey is forced to flee. That night, as Patty scolds Dewey, Ned finally admits that he still loves rock music. He confesses that giving up music was never easy for him. The students realize that Dewey has been hiding his true identity and using them to create a band, initially feeling betrayed. However, they decide to leave school and perform at the Battle of the Bands on their own, sneaking out while their parents argue with the principal. The kids find Dewey and convince him to join them at the concert. Ned also shows up to watch them perform. The School of Rock band takes the stage, and the kids hand Dewey a school uniform to match theirs. At the last minute, Dewey decides to perform Zach's song instead of his own, and the band agrees. The parents, along with the principal, arrive at the concert and are initially barred entry, but they manage to purchase tickets. The School of Rock Band delivers a fantastic performance, wowing the audience. The parents, seeing their children's talents, feel proud. Dewey even crowd surfs at the end of the performance, and this time, the audience catches him. Even though School of Rock doesn't win the competition, the audience demands an encore, chanting for them to perform another song. The principal, impressed, also joins in the applause, acknowledging their talent. In the final scene, Dewey and Ned start an after-school program to teach rock music to children, providing them a place to explore their musical interests. Everyone, from the kids to their parents, is happy with this outcome.